Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wizards, witches, muggles, beings of Middle Earth, welcome to another episode of Anthony and Alex Talk Stuff. We're back to talk stuff. A lot of stuff to talk about. We're in the midst of the G1 for New Japan. We got we got Summerslam around the corner for WWE. The Kawhi Leonard trade. The NBA, season is taking place. Carmelo Anthony news. There's a lot to go off of, Alex.
Boys and girls, what in our analytics has shown you that there's children listening to
I'm really
this?
studying the demographic, and I've found that
real broad.
That demographic are huge fans of NBA news. So, I just figured if they're out there, they're listening. I don't want to make them feel like they're not important. I don't want to make them feel like they don't count. We know they're out there, and we do it for the culture and the fans at the end of the day is what we do it for. So I just figured being inclusive.
You're just rambling. What do you think about this Kawhi trade?
I thought it was stupid as shit for the Spurs, but good for the Raptors for a season, I guess. Unless he resigns.
I think it's awesome for the Spurs.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's great.
I think
it's good for both teams, and I think it's better for the Spurs.
You traded Kawhi. I guess in the long term, if you're like going through it, and it's like, DeMar DeRozan's he's there through what 2021.
Yeah, on a pretty good contract.
It's a pretty good contract. He's a good player. Well, not in the playoffs, but he's a good player. I just feel like Kawhi Leonard is way better than DeMar DeRozan, and then you got Danny Green also, and you basically got that.
It's not like DeMar by DeRozan. Much. I would say.
Wait! You don't think Kawhi is like way better than DeMar DeRozan?
No, because we've talked about this. I don't think Kawhi is going to be the player, and I think DeRozan can get a lot better than he is because he actually does work really hard.
Just because on his own, or because he'll be with Pop?
Because Pop and just the system and their shooting coach is like a really like renowned kind of shooting coach.
And you're a huge fan of you love DeMar DeRozan's footwork.
I do actually. Yeah, he has the best footwork in the. Yeah, you didn't know that? He is like if you ask like an NBA player or anybody like who has the best footwork, they'd most likely say like DeRozan.
Yeah, I remember you said that to me a while ago. I was like, oh, that's a pretty good point. A pretty cool point. No, I did not know that previously.
Right, but no, I just think like he is like a top 15, 20 player because he's on All NBA, which means he's a top 15 player, right? Because that's how you like judge that.
Right.
They have Aldridge, who's also on All NBA, so you have two top 15 players. Obviously, he's not Kawhi because Kawhi could be the third best player in the league, second best player in the league,
correct?
Maybe like when he's full on like Kawhi, but. He doesn't want to be there. You don't know what's up with the quad because he's had now 2 quad injuries on 2 separate legs. And I just think you're getting back a great haul because you're getting back an all-star who I know he's frustrated that he wanted to be like a Raptor for life and stuff. But I think once he gets down there and gets in that kind of system, I just think they're going to be like a weirdly kind of good team because I could see – even though I'm like high in the Rockets, I could see them taking a step back now that they lost like Ariza and they lost defense, and they're gonna
that's gonna hurt.
And then if they do add Melo, which we'll talk about, like then you're not helping your defense at all. I mean, your offense,
no, you're not.
No, you're not on your defense whatsoever. So I could see like this team, which is like under the radar, kind of veteran heavy team with Pop, just like kind of somehow get into the second, third, seed.
The San Antonio Spurs won 47 games last year with no Kawhi Leonard in a really tough Western Conference. So now you've added DeMar DeRozan. So that automatically makes them better than last year.
Right.
And you've got arguably the best coach in the NBA. And to your point, Aldridge, Patty Mills is sweet. Paul Gasol can still get some stuff done.
And Pirtle's pretty good. The other guy in the trade.
Yeah, the other dude that came over.
Yeah, I like him. So I just think they'd be better. Obviously, you had 9 games of Kawhi.
Right.
So you had none of him basically, and now you're getting another All-Star on the team. So
if you knew that Kawhi was going to come back and be Kawhi, like top 2, top 3 player in the league, would that change your view on this trade?
Ooh, long pause.
I was like, did we cut
I don't.
out?
No, I don't. But he doesn't want to be there. Is the
Correct.
thing like that? So
Correct.
that's hard for me to like. Even
It's
if he
hard
has the
all around
talent, like
because
if he's checked out,
yeah,
then it doesn't really matter how good the talent is if you're like completely checked out and don't want to be there. But yeah, obviously, I have fears of Kawhi. Not that he's in some sort of Isaiah Thomas sort of thing,
leash.
but I mean, I don't know because I don't know where I'm getting. So I think if you don't know where you're getting, I think the Spurs could could possibly have gotten like a steal of a deal because what are the Raptors saying? Like, okay, 1 year we're gonna get Kawhi, who could be, the third best player, in this league, and he's gonna be the best player in the East, right? Like
Oh,
for
without a doubt,
if he's himself, right?
without a doubt.
And you've had a really solid regular season team, similar to those like old. I always talk about those old Hawks teams. You always have that team that's like really solid.
You mean
Like they always,
the Joe Johnson Hawk teams?
yeah, with Al Horford, whatever, Millsap, those kind of Hawk
Mm-hmm.
teams. Like they always had a regular solid, good solid like regular season, but then the playoffs didn't really do anything.
Nothing.
Right, exactly. And so the Raptors really just had like LeBron as like the thorn in their side and could never get past him. And now he's gone. And you decide to kind of blow it up a little bit just because you have the ability to get Kawhi. You add him in and you don't know where he could go. I think if he's Kawhi, you're automatically in the conversation for the East Finals.
That was my question. If Kawhi is Kawhi on this Raptors team, are they the favorites to come out of the East?
No, I still think I'm still on
two?
I think I'm still on the Celtics, but I could see them as two.
Okay. I see. I
think there's only three teams that are even viable, really. Like
correct. Sixers,
even if
Celtics,
even
and
if
now
Kawhi
Raptors.
isn't fully Kawhi, I guess DeRozan was the best player on that team, so it's hard. But I mean, right now it's what 76ers, Celtics, and if
maybe Milwaukee.
hey, I like them. It depends on I don't know. It depends on some things.
Who's the new coach? Budenholzer?
Yes. Who's
I
really
wanted Becky Hammond to get that job.
Oh, well, I don't know. I think Becky Hammond's just going to stay around and take Pop's job.
That'd be fucking sick.
I mean, that's what it's
sweet.
looking like at the time, but you never know with these things. So
That's true.
I actually wanted him for. If it wasn't Fizz, I wanted her for the Knicks.
I thought that would have been sweet, but I also don't know if like
she used to play for the Liberty, so
True.
it's like
true. It would have been tough though, like to be
it
like
would have been tough for Dolan. He probably would have sexually harassed her like immediately.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if he could get his way to the arena and if he's not at some fucking concert playing his guitar with his fucking fedora.
Yeah, I know. I hope those rumors of him trying to sell the team eventually are true.
Oh my god, I feel like every Knick fan who I speak to tells me that. They're just like, I just want Dolan to sell the team. I'm like, oh, good luck.
He's atrocious. Yeah,
He's
I know.
a fucking ass. He's a shitty.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens. I mean, but you love Kawhi, so I mean, this is good, right?
You know what's funny is
he's like, hey, I want to go to LA. All right, you know what? Well, we're shipping your ass to Toronto, so have fun.
Like, I wonder. It's funny because Kawhi's my favorite player, and growing up, my favorite team was the Raptors because I loved Vince Carter, and I had like this sick purple Raptors jacket as like a little kid because they were the closest NBA team in my city. And it's funny that he went there.
The one you wear every day still?
No, the one I framed and put up in the living room of my apartment.
Yeah, I see.
It's too small now.
The apartment or the?
Yeah, the apartment. They've done some renovations, and so it went from a one-bedroom to a no-bedroom. It's basically just a kitchen. I'm in the fridge right now. I think he's going to come back fine.
Okay.
And even if I know there's a lot of questions about, like, maybe potential, like, his character, his motivation, or whatever. I think even if he plays, he's going to play to, like, his fullest extent. And so that's the only reason I see, like, the Raptors clearly winning this trade. Because I basically see it as, like, Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard went to Toronto for DeRozan, a decent dude, and a pick. And if Kawhi's Kawhi, I think they hands down win. I think the Spurs are still definitely better than last year. I think they probably hit 50 wins, maybe even like 55 or something, depending on how the rest of the West shakes out. Maybe that's good enough for like the 4 seed, the 3 seed, maybe something like that. I think
will the Raptors be able to Paul George Kawhi into stay?
I don't think so. I think Kawhi's going to LA regardless. I don't know if he's going to go to the Lakers.
How many times does Drake take him to strip clubs in Toronto
I was
and tell him
thinking
to
of
stay?
that, of like constant like at the game, like Kawhi hitting a three and like the other team calling a timeout and Drake just standing up and being like, yo, you're killing it, Kawhi, you're killing it. And then eventually him just being like, yo, can you leave me alone? Like, I get it. Like, you want me to stay, please stop. Like, or Drake like calling him and leaving him like voice messages on his like answering machine and like singing to him and like, yo, I got this new song.
He might make a new album about him.
He might, and like superimpose his face on Kawhi's face and try to like merge them as two. I don't think he stays. I really don't.
Just straight to LA. But that's what people thought about Paul George too.
Yeah, but this is more like, yeah, I did think that about Paul George, but this seems like more definite. I feel like Kawhi's a 1-year rental. Maybe he stays. I don't know. Maybe the Raptors have a sick as fuck season. Maybe he realizes or thinks that Toronto is sweet as a city. Maybe he's a big fan of Jurassic Park and he wants to stay.
You know what's a better convincing thing, I think, is as opposed to the Paul George thing, where it's like, hey, you're already in the West on a team that's definitely not going to win the chip anytime soon.
Yeah.
Like, but in this, it's like, hey, stay in the East. It's easy over here.
Well, see, what's also a possibility with that, too, is like, if I'm Kawhi, right, say we got a good team in Toronto, wherever they go this year, I feel like they're definitely top two. I would easily put them past the Sixers. I think they got exposed last year when it was showed like how you fuck up Ben Simmons, unless Ben Simmons develops a jump shot this offseason, which it's possible, but I doubt it. I think their Raptors are easy top two. The Celtics are a good team. They're a deep team, really good coach. I don't know if they get past the Celtics, but then you're looking at this time next year. What if Kyrie leaves the East, or what if Kyrie stays in the East but goes to like the Knicks or something like that, and maybe he doesn't get surrounded with, maybe he's in a LeBron situation where like that first year he doesn't have a lot of talent. Like the Raptors kind of become the new Cavs if Kawhi stays and Kyrie leaves the Celtics potentially. And maybe you're looking at the Raptors as like, well, we don't know who's coming out of the West, but we know the Raptors are going out of the East. Like that's a potential.
I think if Kyrie leaves, he stay. I mean, I don't know the landing spots, but I would imagine it's only going to be Celtics, Knicks at this point. But I know the Knicks' alleged plan, their full court press,
him and Durant.
It's Durant,
right?
So I mean, that could definitely shift the landscape in the East heavily, I think.
Well, that would change a lot of shit.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess it depends. Maybe he doesn't want to be, maybe it ends up being next offseason and he kind of does this delay again because he wants to see where
what
kind of the pieces
out.
Fall.
But then I also see him again like I think he just wants to be I think he feels hard done by San Antonio, by the organization, whatever. He's very untrustworthy. Like he's out. He doesn't like him. Maybe, and right now he wants to go to LA because he wants to feel like closer to home. He wants to feel comfortable. Like that's where he wants to be. But maybe he has a good year in Toronto, develops a good relationship with like the people there, and then is like, oh, you know what? Like I feel comfortable here. Maybe I'll just stay. But as of right now, I feel like he's going to, LA. But then there's all the reports.
Also,
the
money.
Can't the Raptors will be able to offer him the most, right?
40 more than anybody else.
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking millions. And
so you're taking that cut.
Maybe he's got a good deal. And there's the reports that he doesn't want to play with LeBron. I wouldn't want to play with LeBron.
I don't know if he does or doesn't. I mean, I know
he goes to the Clip Show. Oh, I'd love for him to go to the Clippers.
But I don't think he should be the guy. I don't think he wants to be the guy. So maybe
that's also a thing too. I don't know if he like. I think Kawhi is sweet. I like him a lot, and when healthy, I think he's the second.
Oh, really?
Best.
I didn't get that indication.
I know you don't know. I think he's the second best player in the world. But I don't see him as like. He's not going to be like the face of the franchise in like a big market city because that's not the type of guy he is. So maybe it does help that he can go to the Lakers and play second fiddle to LeBron from a media standpoint and from a personality standpoint. Maybe that works out. But I don't know. I also don't. Maybe he doesn't like LeBron and doesn't want to play with LeBron. And It's so I feel like to really like think of where he's gonna go. At this time last year, I thought LeBron was going to the Lakers hands down, and then I started to waver a little bit towards the end, and he ended up going to the Lakers.
We'll think all these guys are going a million different places in the next 11 months. So.
I feel like two things would have to happen. The Raptors would have to have a very good season, and Kawhi would have to feel like, I mean, I guess these are probably obvious things, but Kawhi would also have to feel like secure as like a person with that organization. Because I think right now he's just very untrustworthy and not comfortable trusting people. And then again, you're going to Toronto.
I think he needs to feel like they can get players to want to play there.
And that's what I think might be tough too going forward. Like, DeMar DeRozan just came out and was basically like,
it's cold.
It's fucking cold. And now with DeRozan being like, oh, I just sat down with everyone, and they told me I wasn't going anywhere, and now I'm fucking gone 2 weeks later, and everybody's coming out like, oh, this is shitty, oh, this sucks, like, it's not a good look. It might make two things happen. It might make players untrustworthy of the organization and not want to go there. Two, it might scare Kawhi off even more, who's already in a situation where he's like, oh, I'm not too trustworthy of, like, management and organizations as a whole, and now I'm going to an organization who just shipped off their best dude after telling him 2 weeks ago that they weren't going to do what they just did. So maybe he just bites his tongue and is like, I'm going to play my ass off this year. Whatever happens, happens. But I'm going to LA. I feel like I don't think he ends up re-signing with the Raptors. I'll say that. I feel like he still probably goes to LA. I don't know which team. But I don't think he re-signs with Toronto as of right now.
All right. Well, we'll see. Because I was hearing reports. He was like, oh no, I'm not even going to play for them, which would like get into
that would be fucking awesome.
That would get into a whole this lawsuit fine kind of mentality. I'm sure he'll play just because that's like when NFL players are like, I'm just going to sit the season. It's like, no, you're not.
They always do it. Even Le'Veon Bell's going to fucking show up after. I can't believe. Did you see that they only? You saw the contract that the Steelers offered him, but you saw they only offered him like $10 million guaranteed.
I know.
Oh, that's
why he's not staying there.
But
he's going to go.
Is that? Do you blame?
He's going to be on the Tampa Bay Bucks in no time.
I think he's going to definitely chase the money somewhere. But that's also the way. Like Le'Veon Bell is sweet and is the best running back in the NFL from probably a playing standpoint and definitely from a fantasy standpoint. But that is the way of the NFL now in terms of running backs. Like, if this were in the mid-90s or even in, like, the mid and early 2000s, he would have gotten paid out the fucking ass. But now it's like, oh, no, I can just draft somebody in the third round or fourth, like I'm Alvin Kamara or Kareem Hunt, and they're going to be sweet. So why – I think Le'Veon Bell is, like, really, really good, but I don't think he's worth a massive contract because, honestly, it's a passing league, and I can find a pretty good running back in the draft somewhere. Like, it's been proven time again. It's a fucking rough situation.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back and forth because obviously there was the time of the lead running back because most of the offenses were running back and like halfback heavy with like whatever I formations, yada yada. But then it went to kind of, throwing it a little bit more, or it went to split work really, the Thunder and Lightning Giants and some other stuff like that. So
now we're in the spread offense
keep people fresh. Now it's more like, okay, well, running backs aren't as valuable unless they're pass catching running back, and Le'Veon Bell is the best pass catching running back.
There's very few like 3-down true number one running backs in the league, and Le'Veon Bell is probably is definitely one of them, and is probably like he's a dying breed because there's not a lot.
Yeah, but judging by the draft and the way some of these guys are drafting Leonard Fournette and Zeke and Barkley, it's like, are we going back to that kind of old mentality? Because why are these guys getting drafted in the top 4 picks?
I don't. Oh, real quick. Sorry, like to get off on a fucking tangent. Did you hear the shit about Ezekiel Elliott at like the fantasy event over the weekend or last week?
No, I didn't hear.
He was doing like an autograph signing, and he would only sign merchandise that was like his name. So he wouldn't sign like if you brought him like a Cowboys mini helmet, he wouldn't sign it. Like he would only sign if you had like an Ezekiel Elliott jersey and an Ezekiel Elliott shirt. And apparently like that's his thing. Like wherever he goes, if he goes to events or signings or like charity stuff, like he doesn't sign anything unless it's got like his name on it.
That's crazy.
He's a fucking asshole.
Won't it have his name on it when he puts his name on it?
Yeah, that's a very good idea. It'd be like, well, once you sign it, it's gonna like you're gonna be on it. Yeah, he would. Some dude posted something. He's like a huge Cowboy fan. I don't remember where the event was, but he.
Can you bring him like a signed helmet that he already signed?
Yeah, because it's got his name on it already. Like, try to Jedi mind trick him into being like, wait a minute, I guess this counts. Yeah, what a fucking asshole. That makes me hate him and the Cowboys even more. Sorry to get off on that tangent.
Well, he's not a great dude.
No, he seems like a fucking asshole.
Speaking of not great dudes, what about LaShawn McCoy and your little situation you got going up there?
If it's true, I want him out. Like, done. I don't know if it's true. Everything's super murky. Did you see the photos of the girl?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were really fucking bad. So if he did that, if he was involved in it in any way, get him the fuck out. He's done in the league, and I don't want him anywhere near my team. That being said, I don't know. I thought it was really damning evidence that the report was like the dude who beat her up basically came in and asked for, like, first off, there were no signs of like forced entry into the house, and two, he literally asked her for, like, a specific set of things. Like, he didn't come in and rob, like, the house. He asked for, like, the specific items that LaShawn McCoy had been telling her to give him back. Like, he basically came in with a shopping list and was like, hey, I need these 3 things.
I need my chef knives back.
Yeah. And then, like, I feel like he pulled out his phone and was like, is there anything else you want, Shady? No, he says he didn't want anything else. Like, and I thought that was pretty damning. And it doesn't look good. I just don't like the insinuation of it. And I know in today's day and age, you know what's even crazier too?
Didn't he had an incident that he was cleared for already?
Yeah, he got into some like fight in like Philly, like last year or the year before, and he's had like some other incidents. You know what?
Well, I guess the nickname should have kind of told you what was going on.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. Now, that's the first thing I thought of when I was like, well, this nickname isn't going to lend itself to. I was like, this is like a prosecutor's dream that his nickname is Shady. The only worse nickname would be like murderer. Do you think back in like in the 70s and 80s and 90s, like, or 60s, whatever, like, I feel like all this shit was happening all the time, but because of like a lack of social media and the internet and like even like the television age, like all this shit went under the rug. Like I picture like NFL players, or pro athletes, or dudes in the 80s just like doing a bunch of cocaine and beating the shit out of chicks and doing terrible shit.
I couldn't even imagine, not like the violence or whatever, but like if social media existed when like Jordan and those Bulls teams were like around, because the stories I've heard about, like, you know, he was just like drinking until game time sometimes, or like he was out until like 5 a.m. and then like during playoff games. Like during,
could you imagine the stories or the pictures of Ric Flair of what would be going on everywhere? Like, oh, Ric Flair was out till 5 a.m. and then won the belt.
Space Mountain, baby, like, Space Mountain. Find him at the Hilton.
All these stories just keep coming out like every other, and especially every offseason. Like, I know it's slow time, so the media needs something to do, but yeah, every offseason, it's like, oh, this guy may have punched this girl in the face. Oh, this guy, you know, got a DUI. Oh, this guy maybe raped this girl. Like, and all this shit. And I just picture, especially in like the 70s and 80s when like drugs really started to kick in and people just thought like cocaine was like recreational or whatever. Like, I just picture people, you know, dressing like they were in an episode of Miami Vice and doing a bunch of cocaine and just doing terrible fucking shit. And
well, I think a lot of, like, not a lot, but I'm sure like there's some people like paparazzi wise, they're kind of like on it because they want to like break stuff, you know.
Oh, they have
you're right, even if it is bad, like National Enquirer kind of stuff, like just to, you know, get paid and get the notoriety or whatever. Just like they would love to, like, they love getting these guys like in the club and seeing what happens.
Oh yeah, you can break a story like that, especially if it's a scandal. And with Shady, I hope it's not true. Obviously, from like a humanity standpoint, like, I don't want to believe that, you know, I mean, obviously somebody did it, so I can't like. From a humanity standpoint, I just don't want it to, like, I don't want to believe that like someone on my team or any like a person that like I root for would do something that fucking awful. But
what would your team look like without him?
Oh, we're fucked.
He's your offense, isn't
Chris Ivory, yeah, he's our offense. Chris Ivory would be our starting running back. We actually have some other running backs who I like. It would piss me off that I really wanted one of the cool or sweet running backs who came out of the draft this year. Actually, who I really fucking wanted, but he ended up staying. I wanted Bryce Love so bad, and I'm hoping we would get him next year. depending on how free.
Well, you're
going
gonna
to
pick first, so you're probably gonna pick.
According to every fucking you saw, and then you texted me the fucking thing. NFL Network saying that the Jets are going fucking 11-5.
It was ESPN on a graphic.
Oh my god,
11-5.
11-5.
McShay had us booking third, so I don't know what to believe, but that was funny.
And
I
so
don't know.
Bryce Love would be. I just like Bryce Love, but I don't know how the season shakes out, how free agency shakes out, what our needs are going to be at this time next year. But yeah, this year, like, we would be, unless two things happen, unless AJ McCarron, Josh Allen, or Nathan Peterman are the fucking truth.
Well, not Peterman.
True. But unless one of them are the truth, or we sign Dez Bryant for a year, or, something crazy happens, like one of our... Ivory's not bad, but Shady makes our offense go. He's super dynamic. He's done a lot. He's an important cog in the team and in, like, the city. It would be super deflating for the city and for the team. Just, like... From like a selfish standpoint, just to look at that, yeah, it would be deflating for us and would gut us like big time. I think we'd be able to rally, but it would fuck the team up big time.
Right.
It would just be, wow, what a fucking. I really hope we didn't do it. What a fucking asshole.
All right, let's stop talking about the Bills and their sadness. What about this? What about this Carmelo trade? I mean, I can't believe all this happened.
I really hope he goes to the Rockets so him and Harden can just be locked down deep all day.
All right, so. Trade went down. This, Kawhi obviously broke overnight, like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., something in the morning.
Yeah,
and then
it was
later in the, which is like crazy. It's like Pop's revenge to reporters or something.
Yeah, right. It so early, so they got nothing.
Okay, and then in the afternoon, it came down that Melo, and this had trickled out a little earlier though. Melo was getting traded to the Hawks, and a 3-team deal. He's going to the Hawks with Justin Anderson from the 76ers and 2022 pick for Dennis Schroeder, who is obviously on the Hawks, going back to OKC with another guy, and then Mike Muscala is going to the 76ers to finish that deal up. Schroeder, he has. I was going to say a bad contract, but I was like, Melo really has a bad contract. Yeah. So Schroeder's getting like 15-5 this year that OKC's eaten. But Melo is getting his full 27-9 that the Hawks are going to pay that basically as a dead money expiring contract. And going to buy him out, and then he's free to sign wherever he wants. So he's getting 28 mil just tomorrow or the next day, however they like figure it out. Because the Hawks are really one of 3 teams, maybe with cap space, but
you had to eat that.
So for them, they're like, okay, that's 1 year expiring, and then we have, we'll have all that money going forward. And we got out of the Schroeder contract because they don't like him. He's obviously had some. Extracurriculars, outside the sport.
A little bit.
Yeah. So they were trying to get rid of him. And from the OKC, they're like, money saving wise, they were on the hook for about $100 million to Melo. So this saves them about 75 and also brings them under the cap and gives them like, under the luxury cap, and just gives them tons of room going forward. Now, Schroeder doesn't fit anything of what they do because he's basically the same player as Westbrook.
Yeah, but he can run that shit off the bench, help the bench out a lot.
If you want to run second team, I thought Westbrook was the first team, second team, and third team. I wasn't sure.
Well, yeah, it's all Russ. You fucking hate him with a passion.
I didn't even know anybody else plays.
I picture Russ calling and be like, why are we trading for other guards? I'm all the guards we need.
I picture him at home playing NBA 2K and just doing creative players and just making himself and making himself like all 5 players on the team, and then just like going from there.
Beautiful, and just passing it to himself and be like, Russ, pass
it to Russ. Russ. No, Russ gonna take it now. Russ. Oh, Russ Jr.
Let me record this and send it to KD. What a bitch.
So, it's a money move from all sides.
Yeah, definitely.
And good for OKC. They get the Schroeder contract. I don't know how they're going to work that out. Maybe that contract becomes a little bit better next year as a piece to trade.
Like 15 mil left? Something like that, right?
Something like that, yeah. So that becomes a good piece for them to maybe trade going into next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just complete money deal. And then Melo's free to soon. He'll be free to go wherever he wants,
Which is Houston or Miami.
Yes, he met with both of them, I guess, in Vegas or whatever, and everyone always says Houston's the front runner. Now with Ariza and Bamute leaving, I mean, it looks like they do need forwards.
Looks like they need defense. They need perimeter guarding ability. Sign up Melo.
Well, yeah, clearly. Well, they need forwards, and I guess they're getting Melo. I don't know who they're getting for defense, but
are they just going to try and score like 200 a game? That would actually be pretty fucking sweet if they could try and do that. Like, they're just going to run fast pace. Let's get down the court, chuck up some threes, make some shit happen on the break, and see what we can do. Because that's what they're looking towards, because they got no defense.
If Melo can be... Okay, first of all, he's got to regain his form. Like, I don't know what happened, but if he can be like a spot-up 3 shooter and a spot-up, long 2 that, doesn't need the ball in his hands, because...
Is he coming off the bench? Like, he's going to start?
No, because they lost Ariza. He's going to start.
So he's going to start at the 3?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, I would think he'd start.
In the West?
I mean,
he's going to get eaten by Golden State. Oh, he's going to
get people have these dreams that his name is still, his game follows his name. But
he needs to turn into what Ray Allen did for Miami. That's what he needs right now. He needs to
but sometimes
shoot and do that somewhere.
Sometimes it's hard for I really don't think his game and his like style lends itself to spot up shooting like or like a Redick Corver, that kind of thing.
No, it doesn't.
Because
like a white guy.
He kind of just the guy who can stand in the corner. There's been tons of other James Jones, Eddie House. Okay, you want some other examples that aren't white? So because usually I know on the Knicks, like he liked having the ball, a couple dribbles to his like right, and then kind of
dribble and pull up,
dribble pull up more than like catch and shoot.
Yeah, he's not curling around the screen, catching it and like putting it up.
No, not at all. No, but
he doesn't have the legs to do. He's even just from a.
I think he's done, but
I agree. And just from a standpoint of,
but on Houston's end, you're going to get him for what, $3 million? I don't know, some boogie contract, $3 million, $5 million.
Are they going to sign Capella?
Yeah, they have to.
They have to.
They have the room now. Because no Ariza.
I don't understand.
But he's not going to be happy. This is the thing. He's not happy because he's not getting the contract he wants.
Capella?
So I don't think Capella.
Yeah.
So, like, if he goes back to that original deal they had for him, which was the $85 million, I think for 5 years, he wants $100 million. I think he's going to just be a little like butthurt about it, to be honest. I don't know if he's going to play as well. So
if he leaves, I
don't think he leaves. I just don't think like the team has the same mentality, and I don't know. It's hard for me. I think they like are the team that would beat the Warriors, but I don't know if they can replicate what they did last year without like Ariza and Bamute and some defensive pieces. And
they already suck defensively, and they lost their two best guys.
Adding an older Chris Paul, James Harden, can he replicate what he did last year? I don't know, because like that was basically top.
But even
James
if he
Harden.
it doesn't.
It was almost like top everybody. Like,
but it doesn't
top
win the playoffs.
Capella. What?
Oh yeah, that whole thing. You said it exactly right. They hit everything on the head last year, and it
was just like top everybody, So it's hard.
And they lost their two best defensive players.
Yeah, definitely hard. I mean, they would have to make some trade deadline kind of moves, which I mean, Morey's great at that kind of stuff, but some of these moves they're doing this offseason they're just confusing to me. So I just would have to see what shakes out, which is once again why I think like a team like the Spurs, and I'm really high on the Jazz going to the season. I really think they can make like some noise
until they got Grayson Allen.
Okay, granted, but I just think
who started some shit already in summer league.
Well, you know how he is, but I'm just like second year Donovan Mitchell. He's amazing. First year is just like
Rubio really turned the corner. They got a good coach.
Exactly. It's just like it might be tough for the Rockets. Just everyone's coming, everyone's coming, and the
I could see
Warriors
the
are tough.
Spurs being that 2 seed. Like they were the 7 seed, but there was only like a game that separated them between like seventh and third.
Yeah, I think they still won like 48 games, 47 games.
Yeah, they won 47. They were like a game out of the 3rd seed, and they did all that without Kawhi. Now they upgraded their team. They could easily be the 2, and if they don't have to see Golden State until the Western Conference Finals, I could see them being that team. I think the Spurs are solid every year. Like they've got arguably the best coach. They fit people into the structure and the system really well, and they have talent, they have quality, they have depth, they have quantity. They could do some shit. I also am just like not a believer in the Rocket style of basketball, winning championships. And as I've said multiple times, I think James Harden is the Peyton Manning of the NBA. And if they get Melo, I like you think he's.
But the Rockets are just trying to out Warriors the Warriors.
Yeah, but the Warriors' success that always gets overlooked is that they are
because they can play defense in really tight situations.
They're a good defensive team.
Well, not Curry, but I mean they can lock down when they need to.
Yes, they can play defense. They rebound well.
But also they haven't. Not that they haven't faced a lot of teams or whatever, but they face the same team in the final all the time. I just think they've only had like how many really tough challenges that they had. I actually think the Rockets series last season was the toughest thing they've had to endure.
I think that Kawhi. Well, here's what we also think too. 2 years ago, until Zaza purposely threw his foot under Kawhi to take him out, the Spurs were kicking the shit out of Golden State in Game 1. And I know Golden State always like comes back, and because of how good they are, they can like change the tide of the game at a moment's notice. But with a one ankle Kawhi, the Spurs were fucking giving the Warriors work. And I think a Warriors-Celtics final could be very, very intriguing. I think with the Celtics' depth, their coaching, and their talent, like I think they would be a problem. I think because basically like Kyrie and Steph kind of cancel each other out, and the Celtics are a better defensive team, and they're not bad offensively. And now you're going to add Gordon Hayward back.
I need to see that team play all together for like a stretch because I don't know. I've always kind of hated the add a bunch of new people. I don't know. Maybe just because in the NFL that never works and stuff like that. I just think there's chemistry stuff. Like even the Heat, right? When they got the big 3. They needed first of all, they didn't win that first year. They probably should have or whatever.
They should have.
But even the first third of the season, they didn't look great. They were figuring it out. So I wonder adding if you're adding, Kyrie coming back, even though he played most of the season, you're adding Hayward who played almost none of the season. I just want to see, and then okay, so Jaylen Brown is taking a hit in minutes. Tatum is taking a different hit in minutes. I want to see how the rotation ends up working out and how everyone gels together before I think because they're kind of, I don't want to say they're just a paper team right now, but I think they look awesome on paper and I just want to see it translate to the court this season, I guess.
I can see that. I think Gordon Hayward is going to fit well just because of his relationship with Brad Stevens.
Right.
I'm interested again.
You're down on Kyrie. You're not a Kyrie lover.
No, because he
doesn't. I am.
He's not good on D. I think he's awesome to watch, and I think he's sweet, and I love his sneakers. But he doesn't play D. He doesn't. I don't know how great he fits that system. I guess it could still be okay because the rest of the team plays D, and he is really great offensively. And I don't know about his personality and team.
I just think he's the best or second best dribbler in the league.
Very true.
He's an amazing offensive talent, yes. And he's also one of very few guys who can make, and has made, the shot when the shot is needed.
He did that one time.
Hey, that's all it needs.
Yeah, but that's not a regular thing. He did it one time. Granted, he's 1 for 1.
Yeah, how many times do you get? I don't know.
He's also missed a bunch of granted it's bigger because it was in the finals. He's also missed a bunch of regular season game winners and stuff. I'm not about to act like he's got ice water in his veins.
Jordan missed more than he made, but it's
but
you remember the ones you make.
Big ones. You can't. Kyrie's made one.
How many big games has he been in? I mean, there's only a few guys that you have done it, or like current players who you would trust to do that. He's got to be like on the short list of like 5-6 guys like that you would
What to take,
want
like,
taking that shot
at the end of the game?
Yeah.
I would
mean,
take.
once you go through your usuals, you'll probably say Kawhi for some reason.
I would take Curry. I would take Durant. I would take Damian Lillard. I would take.
You gotta take LeBron now.
Nope. I would take Kawhi.
You gotta take LeBron now. He's not old LeBron. This LeBron is like, dude, look at the Raptors game. A bank left-handed jump.
Suck.
Dude, come on. The difficulty of that shot. No. The difficulty of that shot was like insane.
He also like subbed himself out in like the third quarter of Game 4. Like he's soft.
You have to take LeBron.
Mentally soft. I'm already taking 4 people ahead of Kawhi. Ahead of Kyrie. I guess if I'm taking LeBron, that's 5 right there. I'd have to think about the rest. I can name. I mean,
there's not too many.
I'd probably put him in. I'd definitely put
There's
him in.
There's not too many.
10, I guess.
So it's like, if you have one of those guys, it's like nice. Hey, if you don't want him, Boston, I'll take him gladly on my next team. So
yeah, so you guys can. Yeah, James Dolan can serenade him with his fucking guitar.
I mean, think of the possibilities. Dolan's on his way out.
I love how the possibilities start with the fact that Dolan's
on his way out. We have Fizdale. We have KP.
Dolan's going to leave. There's hope.
Kevin Knox is killing it in Summer League. Mitchell Robinson looks awesome as like a lower, what was he? Late first round, early second round pick. Looks like looks amazing.
Watch Kyrie go to the Nets.
Kyrie possibility or Durant possibility. I mean, this is shaping up to be. I guess I'm just super hopeful.
I've never heard you so optimistic about the team.
Oh man, I would love it.
Crazy.
I would love it so much.
I
would love it so much.
Your number one team is the Knicks or the Jets?
Oh, the Jets.
Jets are 1, Knicks are 2, Yankees are 3?
No. Jets, Barcelona.
Wowzers.
Yankees, Knicks.
Okay.
Rangers.
Okay. Wow, Barca at 2, huh?
Yeah, I love Barca. I mean, I don't get to see as many games as I want because I only had like some years I have being sports and some years I don't have being sports.
I have it now.
It's like the only time you can really see them.
Yeah, it's fucking
so it's like it's complicated. Also, I was on a schedule where it's like I didn't have the weekends off. So
but now you're an adult now.
Right. So sometimes you see them, sometimes you don't. But yeah, it is. I don't know. It is what it is. But I will say it's like it's different when the Knicks are good, and the Yankees, I guess too. When the Knicks or the Yankees are good, the city is completely different. I don't know. It's just like
true. I agree.
It's just gross. Like there's just like a feeling in the air, and it's like
I hate it.
Yeah, I know.
Makes me want to throw up.
I know.
Ugh.
I harken back to the 94, 95 teams.
The Knicks?
Yeah, great times. Even the 99 team was great.
Great times.
Great times.
Well, they might get there. They got to do some signing. They got to get rid of Dolan. You never know. Kyrie and Durant would make a difference, I would say.
Well, speaking of great times, how's San Fran?
Oh, shitty. No, it was fantastic. It
really?
was, yeah, it was awful. No, it was really great. That G1 special show was fantastic. Bullet Club breakup, 22 years to the day of the NWO debut was fucking awesome. Like just the breakup in general, but then for them to harken back to that and kind of like allude to that, I thought was awesome. The Takahashi Dragon Lee match did not disappoint. It would
have been nice if some guy didn't break his neck in that match.
He may not have broken his neck. New Japan is being like hush hush on it. It works out now with the G1 going on because like he can take some like time off a bit. But yeah, they're being real hush hush. It's what was scary is like the New Japan dudes never admit injury or like do anything, and not like he had to be rushed to the hospital as soon as he got through the curtain. Like he collapsed and they rushed him to the hospital right away. Like not even a whole like, well, let's see how you are in the morning and then we'll take you. Like they rushed him right away. So I thought that was bad. But the match was fucking awesome. Like it was everything we expected it to be. Hard hitting, fast paced, fucking nuts. The Kenny and Cody match was way better than I thought. Like the ladder spots were great. The table spots were good. The ending was good. That was awesome. just the tag team title match was good. The whole card from top to bottom was great.
Was there like a "You Still Got It" for Haku?
Yeah, there was,
because there's like obligatory ones, you know, just
that
for older
was
people.
That was definitely obligatory. He got a massive pop when he got tagged in for the first time, and yeah, it was a really good show. It was a really great time overall. The city is beautiful.
What was the biggest pop of the night?
The biggest pop of the night was when Juice beat Jay White.
Whoa, okay,
that's one of the biggest pops. That's hands down. Oh, the two biggest pops I've ever heard in my maybe even sports attendance.
Road Warriors in Japan.
No, I'm thinking of like things I've attended.
Kidding.
Yeah, Road Warriors. Yeah, I definitely saw that. When Jay Lethal beat Jay Briscoe title versus title like 3 years ago or 4 years ago in New York City. When Jay Lethal was television champ and Briscoe was the heavyweight champ. When Jay Lethal won that pop was nuts. This one with Juice Robinson was maybe the biggest pop I've heard at like a sporting event. Definitely at a wrestling show, but maybe sporting event, like anything. This match was awesome for two reasons. It was just a good wrestling match. No, it was great for a whole bunch of reasons. It was just a great wrestling match. JR took a bump and broke a rib. And Jay White's ability, I can't put it together like enough from a live perspective. Like, so the last three matches were the Dragon Lee Takahashi match. And then it went to Jay White, Juice, and then Kenny and Cody. Everybody was dead after the Dragon Lee Hiromu match because everybody saw how bad his neck looked and they were kind of like worried. But two, everybody just spent the whole match like from the get-go, like they went at it like 5 seconds into the match. I was like emotionally and physically exhausted after that match. And I felt bad for the Juice and Jay White match. I like Jay White a lot. Like, I really, really like him. But I was like, oh, shit. Like, this match has to follow the Hiromu match, and it's coming before, like, Kenny and Cody. I could see people getting up to go to the bathroom or try to do something, like, or just not being into it. And Jay White, everybody was behind Juice. The promo work New Japan did was awesome. The promo that they put up on the Tron was awesome. Really set the mood. Juice came out and just got everybody behind him right away, but Jay White made himself like public enemy number one. The amount of "fuck you" Switchblade chants to Jay White was immediate and palpable from like 2 minutes into the match. He really
he's getting over.
He got over big time as a heel. Really ate it up. Did a great job with it, and then he gets hit with Pulp Friction. And everybody thought it was done. Like, I stood up, and we all thought it was done. You got the 1 and the 2, and the hand was so close to making it the 3. Jay White kicked out at, like, 2 9/10. And so you think right there, like, all right, it's done. You know, Jay White will win. And then Juice fucking rolled him up. And, yeah, that pop was nuts. I watched it back on New Japan World, and it was loud. I recorded it on my phone when I thought it was about to happen. And just remembering and seeing, yeah, like, that pop was fucking nuts. There were a lot of pops like that night. The ladder spot in the Kenny match was big. The 2 table spots were big. Kenny coming out in general was big. But that Juice Robinson victory, everybody, I don't know if it was just because everybody was behind Juice or everybody hated the shit out of Jay White. But that pop was fucking nuts.
All right, dope.
New Japan's killing it as a whole right now. Like, that,
yeah,
what's going on? The G1.
Yeah, what's going on with G1?
It's been great so far. Kenny's had some really great matches. Naito's doing his thing. Everybody. The roster. Jay White is turning into like a top heel in the business. He's getting better in the ring. Well, he's been good in the ring. But his promo work and his like character ability and his ability to get over as a heel is top notch right now. And then his in-ring work is like backing it up as well. He's killing it. Yeah, New Japan is.
We had like Okada's sad clown.
Well, I feel like that's the long arc. I think I mentioned it in one of the episodes we did. I think the route that they're going with him is like loses the title, kind of loses his identity. He's coming out with like he's wearing different gear. He comes out with like balloons. He seems more like jokey. I actually think the arc that they're doing is I think Jay White.
So he's turning into Doink.
Basically, he is Doink. I think Jay White wins the G1. And
Really?
yeah, I think Jay White wins the G1, and then Jay White. I think at Wrestle Kingdom, it's either one of two things. I either think it's Ibushi versus Kenny for the title, or I think it's
that would make the most sense, wouldn't it?
It would, but also what I'm personally, and I love Ibushi, so I would love to see Kenny versus Ibushi. But I think
why didn't WWE sign him after the tournament?
He kind of didn't want to. He does his own thing, even with New
No,
Japan,
I know that, but like they could have thrown him a little bit. I don't know.
But he's weird as like I'm not saying like I know that he like does it for the craft type of thing, but he's very like, no, I'm cool. Like he marches to the beat of his own drum. He does a lot of like weird shit. So I could see it being hard to like wrangle him in. But with the G1, I see Jay White winning it, and then he'll have to put up like his title shot before Wrestle Kingdom. I think he puts it up against Okada, and I think he loses. I don't think anyone's ever lost like the briefcase like after they won the G1. I think he loses it to Okada, and then we see Okada versus Kenny again at Wrestle Kingdom. Is the long term? I think the long term arc that they're going with now is like Okada was the Rainmaker, he was the guy, loses the belt, kind of has like a crisis of faith or a lot like loses his identity, whatever. And Jay White is really starting to build into the whole because he with beating Okada in the G1, he's really going in the whole like. He beat Okada, he beat Tanahashi, he's going in the whole, like, oh, look at me, like, I'm the new guy, I'm taking everybody out, I'm the new face of Chaos, I'm replacing Okada, it's me, it's me, it's me. And then at the other side, like, Okada is just having, like, a downward spiral, and I could see that as his, like, redemption, and Jay White is a cocky asshole, puts his shit up on the line, loses it, we get Okada versus Kenny, opposite sides of the coin now Kenny is, like, the top dog, Okada's trying to work his way back. I could see that being the end points for Wrestle Kingdom. Has
there been any pushback on Okada being on top this long?
No, because I think he's pretty much widely regarded as like
obviously I know work rate, but it's been a very long time. Because if we're talking about the whole like Tanahashi run into this like Omega run and his dominance basically at the top of Wrestle Kingdom and the promotion in general, and obviously this huge 700 plus day run as champ, I just feel like it's funny. I don't know. Like there really is like there doesn't seem to be any sort of
no. And what's funny is as I have professed many a times, I don't like Superman booking or like dudes that always win, and I feel that way a little bit with Tanahashi sometimes. But not really. It's different with New Japan. I don't know if it's because the wrestling style is different and it entertains me more, or I just recognize that they're
harder.
It might be. My erection is definitely at full mast when I'm watching New Japan. But there's really no pushback. Like I'm going to speak for myself. Like
it's like weird, right?
Yeah,
isn't it weird?
I've thought of it a couple times, like, and been like, of course he fucking won, and then I'm just like, I don't care. Like, I thought of that just now saying it, like, when I first thought of, like, what I thought was going to happen with the G1, I was like, damn, so, like, Okada's going to be in the fucking, like, main event again at Wrestle Kingdom? I was like, are we really going to do, like, Kenny and Okada again at Wrestle Kingdom? And I was like, oh, okay, like, that seems fine, like, Okada's going to main event again. I think it's just because it's so widely accepted, whether it's from, the common people who watch it, or, like, the fucking smarks, or the internet people, or the people on Reddit, or Meltzer, whatever, like, Okada is so highly regarded and has received so much critical acclaim that I think if he wins all the fucking time, nobody cares.
Wow.
Which is pretty sweet. And it's cool to see what New Japan's doing right now. Like, their bookings, I mean, obviously, like the...
What did you say? They were coming back in September, you said?
Yeah, they go to Long Beach in September, and they have a show in Anaheim in November, and then we're going to the fucking Garden next year to see them in Ring of Honor do the fucking show at the Garden, which is going to be fucking nuts.
I put that out.
You're in for that, right? You're there, right? Like when I have, what's his face buy the tickets, like you're down, right? 100%.
Well, yeah, as long as the NXT card isn't so good.
Oh, dude, it's Ring of Honor, New Japan in the Garden.
How much do you think Vince tries to get them out of the Garden?
I feel like he tried already.
I don't.
He's
Maybe.
not happy about it.
I mean,
He's Vince. He hates everybody's everything. He
he's
literally poaches talent just to make.
he has a
him
lot
ride
of
the
pull in
bench.
that building.
He does, but obviously not enough.
What happens if they want to get NXT in that building?
No, they can't. It's already done, and NXT's already got the.
Nothing's already done.
They're gonna go to Barclays.
You think Barclays?
Yeah, NXT goes to Barclays. I guess the same night. That's the only thing that I find interesting. Like,
Has to be.
Maybe NXT. Yeah, but there's no chance Vince backs down. I was thinking maybe there's a chance they do NXT on like. Well, no, isn't NXT will be on a Friday because the Hall of Fame thing is on Saturday.
No,
So they're not running against.
Is that how they did it? No,
I believe so.
no. I thought that it was the other way around. I thought it was Saturday.
Hall of Fame is Friday, and then
Yeah, Hall of Fame is
Saturday?
Friday. Yeah, Hall of Fame is Friday.
Okay, maybe not then. It'll be interesting to see what they run against. I'm
I
fully
just
on board
figured
for
I
it.
figured they would try to get NXT and MSG because obviously they've run in Brooklyn with NXT a lot. It's
But they
become
have that
like
deal.
no, okay, yes. Well, the deal for SummerSlam, but not the deal for Mania.
No, I mean the deal for like they give Barclays gives WWE like special shit for like them to go there. That's why they do SummerSlam and take over there for like the 4 years in a row. They run more shit there on like purpose.
Well, yeah, I get that. I mean, they had the 3 or 4 year deal for SummerSlam, and obviously that was piggybacked with like Takeover. And I think NXT as a brand sees kind of Brooklyn as like one of their hubs, just
Yeah,
because that
definitely.
first show that was there ended up being a lot bigger than they thought, and they had a very successful night. And now it's some sort of like landmark kind of linchpin for that brand
Yes.
to be in Brooklyn
Yes.
like once a year kind of thing. So I guess
Definitely.
they can see that, and they can kind of keep perpetuating that as like that's their WrestleMania, like, you know, Brooklyn 3, Brooklyn 4, Brooklyn 5, however they want to do it, I guess. That they do it like once a year. So I guess that makes sense. I just figured maybe they thought they could go to MSG with NXT the way the brand is like progressing. So
I would have
that's
seen
not
that.
happening now, but I mean, it's interesting.
I could have seen that. I really thought Ring of Honor was going to do like a Hammerstein Ballroom show or maybe like Terminal 5. I didn't think they would get into the Garden. Not because I necessarily thought TakeOver would get in there. I just figured.
They did that Coney Island Stadium last
Yeah,
year?
I went to that.
Oh, okay.
That was the same night as Sasha Bailey won.
Yes, I went to that.
That was Nakamura's like last New Japan show in the States.
Okay.
Yeah,
What do we really think we're getting out of this card, though? I understand
it's going to be sweet.
I understand they're going to throw everything at it, right? But
Yeah, they're going to bring the heavy hitters for it. I think every time they come, again, New Japan is trying to establish a stronger foothold in the U.S., and both G1 special shows have done very well, like gate-wise. And them going to the Garden, I mean, it's going to be, depending on what the gate is for All In this September, this is going to be like the largest non-WWE wrestling show in the States, and they're definitely going to come for blood. I don't know who will be the champs at that time, but the belts are going to come. The heavy hitters are going to come. They're not... It's fucking Ring of Honor in New Japan, and they're playing in the Garden. Like, they're going to go all out. Like, every match is going to be heavy hitting, and they're coming for it.
Yikes! I'm gonna need like a hotel room if we're doing this back to back nights.
I'm cool with that. Whatever, man. Like that. I was definitely thinking, well, we have to go to Mania just because it's Mania, even though it'll probably suck. But now
it'll be great. It's Mania.
It's not great.
No, not great in that, but the spectacle will be
cool.
great.
It'll be cool to go to a Mania and try to relive. Like, I'll try and just hold.
I want to do all the access stuff, to be honest. Like,
I just want to hold in all the nostalgia I had from when I was a kid before I realized that WWE sucks.
Yeah. Calm down.
Well, look where they.
Let's see who gets the trophy. Well, if Bret Hart gets his trophy or whatever that year, the statue, then you'll change your tune.
I would be pretty happy.
Exactly.
I can't not think of WWE now and like juxtapose it with New Japan with like this. I completely get the style of wrestling is different. Like I've gotten over that with WWE. Like New Japan far surpasses what WWE does in the ring, and I get it. They're different styles. It's whatever. But the booking decisions, not only is New Japan just like on point with a lot of the things that they do, but WWE is just so bad. Like even what we're looking at now with, we talked about it a little bit with, I wonder what's going to happen at SummerSlam, and the rumors of things were like, Lashley beats Reigns at Extreme Rules, and then somehow wins a number one contenders match to fight Lesnar at SummerSlam. Like, and I know you think Lashley.
Well, no, you think Reigns is going to win this number one contender match,
because
right?
they're going to have him take the belt off of Brock, and I can't believe we're still trying to do the whole like.
I mean, how many attempts does he need to do this?
That's my thing from a logistics standpoint, right? Like, you've lost every attempt, and I know you had the whole like cage match where like your feet touch first or whatever. But even just in this scenario, you just lost to Bobby Lashley. Why do you have a claim to fight him again for the number one contendership? That doesn't make any fucking sense. And their booking decisions are just, it's so contrived, it's so forced. Before you even saw, as soon as they broke it down, I was fast forwarding through Raw, and I saw like everybody in the ring, and I was like, what's this? And I hit play and saw they were setting up the triple threat matches, and immediately I was like, Lashley will win one, Reigns will win one. And that's exactly what happened. And I was like, this
is why I think it's going to end up being Lashley, actually. Because
so you think they're trying to swerve us and make you think like, you think Reigns is going to win?
A little bit, yeah. And
cool.
And
so then we get fucking milquetoast Bobby Lashley. Generic.
I made an Instagram post about this that I think it's going to be, that's the main event, is Lashley Brock at SummerSlam. And my reasoning behind that is fully like in a sort of Vince mold. Okay, he has a guy with a big physique. He loves that.
Yeah, Lashley definitely works out.
He has a guy that he has like trusted in the past or has had in big events in the past. He's been in a WrestleMania main event. He was in that hair match where Vince lost his hair, whatever. He's been in bigger matches, right? And Vince loves relying on the older guys or guys that have done it before, not necessarily trusting any of the new guys to take it over. And I could see
that's the way you develop new talent, by the way.
That's exactly how you do it. And I could see Lashley, and you could phrase it as this like real fight, UFC, versus Bellator, MMA, fight, two big hosses, yada yada, however you want to go through it. Like, he looks like a credible person that could take on Brock in Vince's eyes. And
I love that.
Well, it's true. Like, it's true, because Daniel Bryan would never beat Brock. It doesn't matter. Like,
no, I completely agree.
It doesn't matter what the kind of.
Yeah, I could see it in like a real life fight. I'd be like, I don't know who might win this fight.
Right. It's like, okay, it looks more like a real fight. And I could see Lashley now being the guy that takes it for and gets all that kind of everything that got.
And then it's still going to lead to Brock, Reigns beating Lashley.
Be given to Lashley, and then eventually this Reigns Lashley thing. But I think they kind of, they curve off a little bit, but not too much, by giving it to Lashley, who's just like another version of Brock in a way.
Yeah, that could be it. I wonder. I've seen it
because you have to get it off. You have to get it off of Brock, in my eyes, as soon as you can, because of the UFC thing.
But Vince has been wanting Roman Reigns to have like a crowning, coronation for years. And maybe it's one giant swerve. I just know he's going to get. Wait, so SummerSlam would be in Brooklyn, right? Yeah, it's in Brooklyn. He's going to get booed like crazy fighting Brock. And especially if he wins the belt, everybody's going to boo the shit out of him.
Well, he's not going to be in that match. He's not going to be in that match. I don't know what he's going to be doing, and I know he'll get booed, clearly. That might be another thing that goes into it. This is Brooklyn this year. Last year in Brooklyn for SummerSlam, everyone says they're going to go back to Los Angeles, right?
Staples Center.
Obviously, Brooklyn is not a great town for Roman Reigns. It's
I don't think any town is a great town for Roman
Correct,
Reigns.
But it's a smarky town. I'm sure like he does way better in San Jose than he does in Philly and Brooklyn.
Yeah, definitely.
So you can't have him main eventing and winning in Brooklyn. It just is going to be a bad look. There's no way you're going to be able to sugarcoat it. I don't care how many times you try to bring The Rock out.
it was supposed to be. That's funny. It was supposed to be Lashley Reigns as the main event at Extreme Rules, and they switched it like midway through the day because Vince was afraid that everybody would shit all over it.
Well, Vince wasn't there.
I know
the deal.
He wasn't there, but they pulled the plug on it, like thinking that everybody was going to.
I thought it was more a decision that Triple H and Road Dogg thought that they just skewed. They skewed on the. I just think they skewed on the conservative side and said, you know what, like this has been kind of billed as like.
Let's not go with the guy everyone hates.
Well, if it's. What do you put last? You try to put the title match last, right?
Why wouldn't AJ versus Rusev go last? Why can AJ not main event a pay-per-view?
I just think that...
He's phenomenal.
I don't think it's AJ. I think they don't trust Rusev enough in that spot. And plus they don't... Well, they don't necessarily know their crowd enough. Like, it's kind of like enough for Rusev to get to the title match almost, not necessarily main event, you know?
Oh,
they're like, well...
It's a filler pay-per-view, a filler title match. You know what the real question is?
It was, but you had this, 30-man Iron Man match, it kind of built up. They obviously love McIntyre as like this heater and this kind of,
Scottish guy,
Diesel Sean,
Scottish
kind
Diesel
of thing they have in. They trust Seth. They've always kind of trusted Seth because he's had the belt and he's like, one of the few people that they, do trust that works well.
Yep, except he murdered Sting and hurt Finn, but whatever.
And whatever. And so, and Dolph's along for the ride. He's a great worker, and he's not bad mouthing at the time. But it's just like. That that match quality is going to be good. There's more positive check marks in that match.
But that if you have to pull a match because the backlash is going to be so bad.
Great pay-per-view.
I knew you were going to do it. I really didn't know if you were. I thought you were going to be like, as I was saying it, I thought you were going to be like, that was the wrong pay-per-view. This was Extreme Rules.
Right.
The backlash. If you're that afraid of the fuck you.
Well, maybe that's why they changed the Mania, the main event, right? That's what everyone thinks, right?
It was supposed to be Reigns, and then they switched it again. I just don't know. Just pull the plug for good on it. Like, why do we keep doing this song and dance? Just pull it. Just do it one way or the other. Either give them the belt and the coronation, or back off of it. Because we keep doing this whole like, will they, won't they? So I feel like I'm watching The Office, and it's like, are they just gonna put Jim and Pam together already? Because I've had it. Like, why is he with Karen? Why is he in Connecticut? Oh, he's back, but now he's still with Karen. Like, what the fuck? Like, just do it. Have it be done with. This whole song and dance is just ridiculous. Like, he's not over. He's not gonna be over. You fucked him up beyond repair. Accept it. He is FUBAR. It's over.
They're never gonna accept it. The more people badmouth and the more everyone says, no, this is definitely not the way, is the more the Vince is going to dig in and say, oh yeah, no, this is the way.
Well, yeah, because he's going to be like, none of these people in the audience are a billionaire. I'm a fucking billionaire. So what are they, man? Like, we don't fucking know anything.
He's going to be like, I'm going to show you who's the
fucking Roman Reigns,
the top dog in this yard.
Oh, I like that. Do you see who, what the...
Reigns and Vince versus...
Oh, my God. Oh, I would die. Did you see what the AJ match is going to be at SummerSlam? It leaked, like, accidentally.
Oh, yes. No, I saw it. Oh, remind me. Damn it.
AJ versus Joe?
Yes.
Do you think Joe wins the belt?
No.
Or you think AJ retains?
Retains.
When does AJ lose the belt?
I don't know, to be honest. I think, like, they're on this weird thing now where just, like, long holding of belts.
I don't think SmackDown really has anybody to take it from him. Like, the closest person I would see would be Joe. He's super over. Brooklyn's going to pop for him big time.
Mm-hmm.
They love to do title changes at SummerSlam. But if Brock is going to lose, I don't see them having both champions lose.
That's why I said you can't have both. I think that's why I think AJ retains.
But I wonder who, like, because if you don't pull the trigger on Joe beating, well, maybe they do it down the road at something else. I don't know. But, like, when does AJ lose the belt, do they do another draft and then AJ loses it at Mania or Rumble or something? Like, when does he lose the belt and to who?
Well, let's. I'm gonna try to put myself into the booking chair and what they would do. AJ loses to Randy Orton as the heel. Tell me this isn't legit though. He loses to heel Randy Orton.
Okay.
At Night of Champions.
That is gross.
But that
would
makes
totally
sense.
happen.
Thank you. Exactly.
He loses it at a house show in Des Moines.
He could. It's not going to be in a high profile like thing. I think they give it to. That's what they always do when they like turning it over. They like turning it over to a guy who's had it for a bit, and it's like, okay, well, if AJ's a face now, we need to give it to a heel. So, Randy's back. I could completely see that happening. Yeah,
actually, I could too. That's right, and I love the whole Night of Champions pick.
Yeah, because that's like exactly when they would do it, just on an off pay-per-view night.
I could see that happening. That would be I've been wondering that because I was like,
I mean, Survivor Series maybe. I mean, they've been wanting to play up Survivor Series a lot more. They have that big show in Australia, right? When is that?
Oh, I don't know.
I forgot when that was, but I'm sure they'll throw a lot of things at that. I don't know if they'll have a title change necessarily, but I know that's like Triple H versus Undertaker last time for something like that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about
End of an Era 2.
Oh my god, End of an Era again.
End of an Era 2, colon,
Oscopy.
An era later.
You know what's funny is I actually thought when you said it, I was like, is that really the slogan?
No, but you would believe it though.
Yeah, I 100% would believe it. Just like if you told me I don't even know when the fuck Night of Champions is, but like how realistic.
December usually.
Heel Randy Orton beats AJ Night of Champions. I'm like, that sucks. That totally makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
I've been thinking about that recently.
Of course, because then you have the rematch at Royal Rumble.
Oh my god!
You know that's the deal.
What happens when Ambrose comes back?
That's the thing. I don't know. Wait, he's on SmackDown, correct? I can never follow any of this.
No idea. No, I think.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay. Well, I don't know. Last time I thought he was on SmackDown. I have no idea.
I don't know.
I think they heat him up, but.
I thought he was going to be I thought he was going to be a bad guy from what I personally thought, and also rumors. I thought he was going to come back and turn on Seth and then fuck his Intercontinental title up, but that's already gone south, I guess.
Well,
I just want to turn everybody heel. It seems like
that's like first day shit. Like you do not have.
That's what we do.
You do not have a returning person. I'm just saying, it's not going to work. Is because you can't have a returning person come back as a heel.
No, they don't. He doesn't come heel right away. He's not coming out. He's not coming back.
Oh, I'm just saying. I'm just saying because you know what kind of entrance is. You know he's going to get a huge pop and a babyface entrance, and so you go from there. I mean, I would love if like Dean and Seth had a little run. I don't know, but I would imagine they heat him up though. Like when he comes back.
God, there's so many. Yeah, I wonder who AJ drops the belt to. I wonder so many things that just don't.
I don't know, but I know that most likely it will not make sense and probably will be lackluster.
And it'll probably happen at Night of Champions. I'm going to laugh so hard if this is what actually happens. I think that would be funny as shit if you nailed it right on the head.
I'm just trying to. Well, that is a while from now, so I really can't see AJ holding the belt for it. That would be like an absurd run. I don't know how many more 100 days that is because that's in December. And so I can totally see him losing at the event, the same scenario, but before Survivor Series. I don't know what the October pay-per-view is, but I could see it happening.
I wish it was Halloween Havoc.
Yeah, that'll never happen, my friend.
There's a rumor that they might start doing that.
What?
Yeah.
Just use the names because of the Great American Bash thing, or
yeah, they might start using like the WCW names and like doing like little things like that. I don't know if it would be like a pay-per-view or they would make it like a special. I read something.
Yeah,
like that.
What was the deal? They made it like a special, right? Like
yeah, I believe so. Unless I read it on Squared Circle on Reddit. Unless it was like kayfabe news and I glanced over it and didn't really read it. But I always thought that would be cool. I just like Halloween Havoc. I thought it was like a cool concept.
No, Halloween Havoc's great. I mean, I just don't see them ever using things like that. Halloween Havoc, Great American Bash. I know they had that one thing, but it's like War Games. Okay, they let NXT kind of do that.
War Games is fucking sick.
Yeah, but they're never going to do real War Games. And they always say it's because, the arenas don't lend themselves to having double rings.
Yeah, that's it.
Same thing with Elimination Chamber. They can't really do Elimination Chamber, but in so many arenas because, they can't fit it.
You can't do Elimination Chamber because it's not violent enough. Like, you need to make it, you need to make it violent. They make it so scary and nothing happens.
You cannot, it's so hard. You cannot have TLC. You cannot have Extreme Rules. You cannot have Elimination Chamber without a utilization of the actual theme of the pay-per-view.
Yes. Also, wait, what was this fucking pay-per-view? It was
WWE Patty Cake, WWE Pillow Fight.
That's exactly what this was. Like, Extreme Rules was fucking regular rules. There was no fucking hardcore stuff. The Alexa match had it.
Maybe they should just call it WWE Stipulations.
WWE regular pay-per-view. Like,
maybe just stipulations.
I wish they'd go back to In Your House.
Shark cage above the old ring.
Oh my god.
In Your House. Yeah, In Your House.
I like well, they don't do that anymore anyway. They don't change the entrance or like the Tron for pay-per-views anymore. They just do like the generic one and then change the colors for it.
You know what? They're going to start doing some more of this like just network stuff, and I think a lot of it's going to be international because of what they're trying to do. But at least they're trying to do something different. I mean, it'd just be cool if they had more like the house show, the WWE, the MSG house show that they put on, like more stuff like that. Like that's way better than all these like than
everything they have
than random pay-per-views. I don't know.
Yeah, like Extreme Rules where nothing extreme happened.
Yeah, I'd rather be watching something like that. Or can I get some like WWE after hours thing? Can I get like an 11 p.m. midnight like
where everybody bleeds?
Yeah, like pay-per-view where like it's
they
fine. Put
it in Philly and there's like thumbtacks.
Yeah, it's like fights. Fine. Yeah, can I get something like that? No, is that not? No. That's what TV networks do. You're a TV network, right? That's like they change a program based on the time of day.
Yeah, that's why when I watch Comedy Central at 1 a.m, all the commercials I see are for live links or whatever like sex phone thing it is. I'm like, they know their demographic right now.
Well, I'm just like, yeah, can we have like matches like that later? I would love that. Like, can we have? Obviously it's not going to happen with one of the major shows, but can I get WWE, ECW, WWE, SmackDown Light? I don't know. Something.
SmackDown Light?
Something of that, and just have like, just a match or 2 or 3 that's like a mini kind of thing, and have them actually like go at it.
There's a lot of things I wish we could get from WWE.
Well, one day.
This is not the world we live in. Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, but their product sucks, and they just made a boatload more money, so we probably don't know shit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the deal is on Fox, because now they have SmackDown. SmackDown's obviously going to get, I would imagine it gets better because it's going to become of more importance to play towards the Fox audience, because you have NFL and other.
It's going to be on a Friday night, though. Isn't that like not a great spot?
No, it's not a good spot. But whatever, Tuesday night, Friday night, I don't know. None of those. I mean, Thursday and Monday are better. But I mean, it's not horrible because it's Fox. I don't know, not USA in my mind.
Right.
You're gonna get plays on like the World Series and the MLB playoffs. You're gonna get.
You think we're gonna be watching the NFL on Sunday, and then like Joe Buck is gonna be like, "Will AJ Styles retain like this Friday on SmackDown?" Like,
yes,
do that?
Yes, completely. I could see them having like AJ like in the booth during like a Cowboys game or something like.
Oh my god!
Or during a Falcons game or something like that. But,
wow.
I could see something like that, definitely. But that's definitely the spots you're looking at. Joe Buck being like, "Will AJ Styles?" Blah blah blah. Yeah, that is definitely going to happen.
Troy Aikman's like, "Who?"
Exactly. Well, I don't know about this wrestling.
Well, I don't know. And he's just like looking at someone like, "Give me a cue. who is this? I don't know what to do.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, thanks for listening. If you like this episode, rate and review us. We're on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you're listening to it right now, obviously. If you could just give us a 5-star review or just an honest review, we'd love to get any feedback. Follow us on social at AA Talk Stuff on Instagram, where I am mainly, Twitter, Facebook as well. And we hope you love the episode. Thank you so much for the support, and we'll catch you down the road. Dynamite.